going to lie to you, one of the things I am missing the most is, as entitled as this sounds, is going out at night, like going out for like a beer and then that turning into 5 beers and just sort of seeing where the night goes. That, I miss that, and that sense of like fizzy potential that like the night has. I miss that. So I've written us this poem for, it's about the first night out we're going to have when we're allowed to have nights out again. It's called Tonight. Come out with me tonight. Come out tonight. Come not just out, but out. For delicious hiding. For best versions, big moves, fast choices. The night is crunchy inviting. It's open for business. It's constantly tilting. It's enemy of dawn. Come out tonight. Let's climb down untethered drain pipes. Let's swim in celebrated oceans. Let's get admitted to literary hospitals. Let's make out with Bauhaus waitresses. Let's cross serendipitous bridges. Let's drink milkshakes in graveyards. The night is a smashed lamp, an empty inbox, a harmless explosion, a flammable cactus, a baklava tower, an indigo dickhead, and it never ends. Until it does. Then dawn insists. Morning hits. Ugh, morning. That brutalist cruise ship. That perky entrepreneur. That confronting leotard. That demoralising saxophone, that naked seminar, that opportunity for growth. I'd love to love daytime, but I'm mourning the starlight. Please say you'll come out with me tonight. One day, guys, one day. All right, this one, I used to hate school, right? I used to get very anxious about going to school. Very, very, very anxious. I was an anxious child. Just hated the skin I was in, I guess. And I think kids today have a lot more to be anxious about than I had. And the idea of going, like, I used to be anxious about school, and the idea of going back to school in September really set me off. So whether or not that's even going to happen, I wrote this poem for anyone who has to go back to school and doesn't want to. I mean, it's not going to fix anything, but I did it anyway. It's called Back to School. I wish for you clean sheets and fresh thoughts, a little more boldness, a little less meekness, a few new ways to clear the clouds from your mind in this, the spring of your life. I wish for you the chance to make things that fall apart, time to breathe in the dying of the leaves. You are the spring in the autumn, and the songs you love now will love you forever. I wish you power over your ancient reflexive responses and the sense to hold drunken kisses lightly. Shrug, breathe, do the next thing, then the next. And remember, no one has ever regretted choosing to go for a swim. Thank you for having me.
There is not a cannon in the clouds loud enough to break you. I believe that. I believe that we are the architects of Eden, leading with our best foot forward, forging future out of anything we can get our hands on. It's why I spit my value of fiction into the ring to mingle where the wild things walk. Because we author more than text when we step through talking. Pouring our purpose into the war against the concrete. Speaking out of turn. In rhythm to learn how to embody the blank slate a fresh snow sends you. It's the perfect time to dismantle the smog. The solution of an angular god, self-righteous in right-angled robes, toting ballads to prescription sonnets. We laugh at that cavalry charge, who bear horses with no teeth, horns, and speak too close to the meter to ever reach a mile. Willing to go the distance, we who solemnly swear to be soul searchers dare to be different, dancing over stardust, stomaching the sticks from beguiling boats floating headlong into Hades, choked on a bliss that betrays reason. I would be stuck behind the times if I hosted my mind to dumb it down. To double down on deluxe lexicon for the common clown, sound like I'm supposed to do, dress like all the posters do, mirroring the mirage of each imposter I've spoken to. I'm open to the notion of following for the hell of it. Hell is a home I held while I would hunger for the devil's pit. Popularity peddled it. Homogenizing hubris. Humor is well embedded in the bed springs of this foolishness, but you and I deny it. We applaud our ordinary Samsons. Locks lopped off, lost and less handsome than any Delilah deemed fit to stick with. We dream quicker than any artillery in the sky. We are the klaxon for the kraken's cry. Hope hinged on bravery. It is why I believe there is not a cannon in the clouds loud enough to break you, so fly and carve your story into the stone.
Hello, Cautionmeisters. I don't know what your experience of lockdown has been, but I guess two of the things that define a lockdown: isolation, claustrophobia. So I thought I'd share a poem about a really claustrophobic and isolating experience. What more claustrophobic and isolating experience than being in a spaceship? A space capsule headed for the moon. Right, so I wrote a poem about that. I mean, I guess the guys who actually walk on the moon, they have a better time of it. I mean, there's two of them for a start. You've got someone to talk to, and all the eyes of the world are upon them, aren't they? So my sympathies as a person and poet lie with the other guy, the one who's left behind in the capsule. Nobody's thinking about him, are they? Except me. And I thought I'd record it here in our downstairs privy to emphasise that feeling of claustrophobia and isolation. It's also the only place in the house I can actually get quiet. Poem. For me, it's not the Golden Boys, not Neil and Buzz, or Moon Dust and Glory. Oh no, for me it's Michael Collins, the other guy, the guy who misses out, the space gooseberry, left behind in the rocket ship to disappear around the back of the moon where even the radio gives up on you. I imagine there was a rigorous NASA selection process. You want the best man for the job, right? I imagine they trawled small-town USA for guys who've had lonely beaten into them with the wrong end of the shitty stick more times than they care to remember. Guys who pull the wooden spoon from life's lucky dip and have learned to just sigh and walk right on. I picture their tiny sadnesses. Al Warden, Apollo 17, left in the kitchen to twiddle his thumbs while fat reefers get rolled behind the living room door. Goofy Dick Gordon, Apollo 12, knock-kneed in the line every high school Friday afternoon to boldly be the last man, boy, picked for the football team. And young Michael Collins, Apollo 11, stood with his push bike on a hot, clear Midwest night as some hot rod jock rocks up and steals the girl from off his arm. As slurps and giggles through half-shut tinted glass speak of giant leaps on brave new worlds. Young Michael Collins, stares up through tears at the cold, hard face of the moon and wishes to God he was up there. It's a sad one.
Hello, this is a poem about a festival. It is about a literary festival, and it is called Excuse Me, That Is Not a Designated Literary Festival Sandwich. Pot planted Prosecco playground, a retreat for the semi-retired and literary types with nice fringes who read novels on hammocks. Book-shaped carrier bags clasped in contented hands. I asked the author to sign it for Imogen. That's her birthday sorted. She chooses a patch of grass, takes out her blanket, shakes out crumbs from 1,000 picnics, and when a security guard walks over, she assumes it is to tut at the recently arrived aspirational rain clouds. But he points at her Boots meal deal and says, "Excuse me, that is not a designated literary festival sandwich," and she laughs, assuming he is making a joke, satirising a lot of the over-officious rules places like literary festivals have. But no, if you want to continue eating, you will have to take it outside. She puts it back into her bag, walks off. These festivals are nothing without tired sighs from inside anoraks, and last year her and her friend did buy designated literary festival sandwiches. They had their rucksacks and their anoraks and their tired feet, and they thought, let's treat ourselves to some lunch. But when Maria died, it's hard to know if she should go again on her own. It won't be the same without her, but it's what Maria would have wanted. She knew it was going to be a hard year in January, when her sister's flat was ruined in the floods. Weeks of mopping and monitoring Free Cycle, hoping for a replacement armchair. Maybe a table so they could all sit around to eat. And she watched the news in disbelief. Not Victoria Wood, not her too. She was too sad to even watch the BBC tribute. There are no good sitcoms on TV anymore. Sandy Toksvik has left the news quiz. Work email arrives. Subject line redundancies. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. On the kitchen table is a pile of unopened envelopes with the NHS logo, and she is glad her dad didn't live long enough to see the graffiti on the walls of the closed down library. She's never really liked those avocado-y fillings that you often get at places like literary festivals. She prefers to put plain Walker's crisps inside the filling of her cheese sandwich and to sit on a designated literary festival deck chair and enjoy some of this designated literary festival sunshine that has been kindly provided by the sponsors, who are drinking champagne with David Walliams inside the author's yurt.
Oh, hey there, you virulent angels. My name's Byron Vincent, and I am actually the first ever billionaire philanthropist to win a Nobel Peace Prize for being a cool guy and good in bed. Don't Google that. In spring of 2020, daytime television presenter Eamon Holmes appeared on a popular magazine program and suggested that we shouldn't trust the mainstream media, the very entity which employs him. Eamon Holmes suggested that not all is as it seems, but if not all is as it seems, including the mainstream media, then maybe Eamon Holmes isn't what he first appears to be. For all we know, Eamon Holmes could be some sort of
impresario chicken whisperer.
Eamon Holmes might be host to the world's most fantastical spleen. Say anything I want about Eamon Holmes. Eamon Holmes has psychic poo.
Eamon Holmes is a breakdancer. 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 Kirsty Walk is a terror hawk. Free your minds.
As we plough the callous earth of our singular existence, subsisting down the twisting thoroughfare of least resistance, shadow boxing phantoms born of childhood neurosis, their encumbering voices spewing toxic halitosis, passing judgment from within you and thus leaving you without the ability to be yourself without a nagging doubt that somehow you are failing, fucking up, getting it wrong. In that common scenario, recite this metered song.
Eamon Holmes is a breakdancer. Chevy Chase has a squirrel's face. Eamon Holmes is a breakdancer. McGonagall is phenomenal. Sheryl Crow is an actual crow. Note yourself.
If, like me, you are imprisoned within barbed wire inhibition, if ignition of cognition has been beaten to submission by the threat of opposition to your notional position, if a submissive tradition has soiled your disposition, then feed on the nutrition of this heartfelt admonition to commence the abolition of self-imposed contrition. You don't need the world's permission. Freedom's born of your volition. Just enable the fruition of this verbal composition.
Eamon Holmes is a breakdancer. Jackie Chan fronts Duran Duran. Eamon Holmes is a breakdancer. Dr. Dre wrote Eat, Love, Pray. Eamon Holmes is a breakdancer. Gertrude Stein is preserved in brine. Eamon Holmes is a breakdancer. Free your mind.
Now, I ain't talking literally. Eamon Holmes may bust some moves, but what the eyes of others construct, the mind's eye can remove. You are not just an amalgam of the judgments of your peers or a blank genetic vessel for hereditary fears. Within you there's a universe of infinite potential, and existing within it is beyond existential. You are master of your psyche, lord of your imagination, the eternal private cosmos of your internal creation. And if you can harness that and throw it at the world with the courage and conviction that that's part of you you've hurled, you'll become the libertine that the doctrinaire bemoans, and you could be a breakdancer just like Eamon Holmes. Yeah, we could all be breakdancers just like Eamon Holmes.
I'll bend your spoon like a strong baboon. Blow your mind box like a cock bassoon. Like a nos balloon. Like a thought monsoon. Body rocking till your bottom but your pantaloon. Make you lose your bum quicker than a greasy prune. Get feudal with a doodle like an art platoon. Throw it like a robot in a rough saloon. Scupper a kerfuffle and leave the room. I can flabbergast rust with my fisticuffs. Lummox any lummox in a crowd of toughs. Rather demonstrate shapes than demonstrate your stuff. Then canoodle with your poodle in the nudie buff. Boom. Rup rup.
Hello, my name's Henry Normal, and I'm too tall for this camera. Oh, wait a minute. There you are. Hello. You having a good time? I hope you are. Anyway, I was supposed to be at Caution Pound this spring, but due to circumstances beyond our control, I'm not. Oh, just a minute. Enjoy that double cheer. So, Martin wrote to me and he said, could I do something for the Blue Sky Festival? And I said, of course. Now, we're very lucky today in that we've got a blue sky. So there you go. And he said, no. Could you do a poem? So I thought, all right, well, I'll try and do one, sort one out for you. Here we go. So this is called Individually wrapped. Here we go. Mind the stairs. Stay healthy, be a hermit, to help the old and infirm it, maybe short term, yet to confirm it. Form your own exclusive club, snub the hub and don't forget to scrub, that's the nub. On a sabbatical be, emphatically position yourself somewhat statically. Social contract is it. Are you alright? Come on, will you come in? Daddy's doing some recording. Hello, my name's Henry Normal and I'd like to read you a poem for the Blue Sky Festival, and it's called Not My Cup of Tea. As a connoisseur, I like a brew, but even at a push, robush in my mush won't do. Darjeeling, not a char, I find appealing, leaves me far from a nice warm feeling. Chamomile, don't make me smile, I'd run a mile before I drink that mile. Oolong just tastes wrong, so does Lapsang Souchong. Save confusion, I'd add exclusion of any organic fruit infusion. Herbal tea, not for me. Ginseng, not my thing. Assam, no thank you ma'am. Earl Grey, no way, José. Green, decaf, not keen, too naff. Masala chai, I'd rather die. Salted caramel, fucking terrible. Now, for me, it's English breakfast. A distinguished tea you want to make last, or if in a hurry, easily neck fast. Quickly done, never too tricky with a sticky bun or a chocky bicky. It's a daddy in the caddy. It's the pot, but it's the spot. Sipping PG tips through my lips, I could even enjoy the apocalypse. It's a beverage for whatever age. Same with Tetley or Yorkshire, most of the rest are just plain torture. Cold Poem brand, that'll be grand. Thanks a lot.
My nose is bigger than, my lips are smaller than, my makeup is less than, my hair is thicker than, this hip, this curve, this waist will not satisfy me. These legs are in transition, my abs need to look like hers. We have stopped looking through our own eyes and started putting somebody else's first. My body was once better than comparison, but other images of beauty have long stained my eyes, and I can't help but plaster potential over every part of me and see much of my anatomy as space to rectify, forgetting how it felt to look myself up and down and be at the very least satisfied.
Okay. This sort of short story, short poem, whatever, is called I Need to Talk More. Which isn't like, I wanted that to be a reference to the last thing Dizzy Rascal says in On Boy in the Corner. He's like, I need to talk more. And he like, but you hear him hang up the headphones and there's a bit of feedback when he does it. But I realise now, calling this I Need to Talk More just sounds like a shitty mental health poem. You know what I mean? So apologies for what you're, well actually I don't apologise because it's I'm proud of everything I'm reading today. Okay. We're in your therapist's office. Kids' toys on the carpet. Subtle insult. Our last fight enveloped us in a standoff with no eyes to look into, skin to touch or incentive to make up. When I landed, we learnt physical energy can be a magic wand. You said next time don't take so long. We're past that. In the aftermath, you're taking a portion of responsibility you don't need to carry. Therapist puts a question to the room. What can you do to make each other feel heard? I take a deep breath. The last thing I want to be is a regret. I need to pull through. Therapist nods. Need to be better. I'm sorry. You say, I'm sorry. And we both know it's a sorry for what will come. On the way back, the pothole lurches the cab. Blonde layers bounce out from your new bob. I've been gone too long. Thank you very much. I'm imagining you're applauding, but obviously I can't tell. Your fingers turn my head into a Zen garden, raking back every thought till my mind is clear. My thumb travels from the temple of your cheekbone. I'm going to read that again. Thank you for your patience. Your fingernails turn my head into a Zen garden, raking back every thought till my mind is clear. My thumb travels from your temple to your cheekbone. If the shower wasn't running, I'd swear time had slowed. Repositioning arms gives space between us occasional gasps. A spaceship maneuvers round our moving mountains of skin, aiming for the light before my stomach falls onto your back. You'll never make it, a crewman screams. Just keep on, the captain barks. That's all the drama a Sunday can hold. Best ways to crack a back? A quick jolt from the bottom of your palms till I hear the click. Best ways to crack a back? A quick jolt from the bottom of my palms till I hear the click. Your method is different to mine. It involves feet and jumping on my spine. You ready? I get nervous. Yes, every time. 1, close my eyes. 2, wake up. In a smaller, wider bed. Check my phone for your texts. Scratch my head hard as I can, trying to find the feeling you'd give, but I'm impatient. Want results quick. Go outside. Feel climate change. Swallowed by the weight of the day. The space too heavy. The space between us is now too large to take. Heavy like large fries and a soy milkshake. Heavy like the drums on 1 in a Million. You can feel hundreds of buildings between our hands and an ocean. Hand me a towel, I'm dirty dancing. By myself. Going for naps. In my jacket. You're passing up 2 opportunities when you pass up 1, because you're missing out on all the potential stuff that could have come. 2 Edinburghs skipped, but what's the point of writing if I'm not writing about this? I'm a tectonic plate with legs. Got my arrow of... When we're together, I'm a tectonic plate with legs. Got my arrow of hopes aimed to the west. When I come back, you comb through my hair and ask why I have all these scabs on my head. Thank you very much. For some reason, I stumbled quite a lot on that poem. I think sometimes reading poems that you realise make you vulnerable has you stutter and stumble more. So it's not something I really want to apologise for. And I hope you enjoyed it. I kind of want to read a couple of newish stuff. Seeing as it's a gig, it's nice to sandwich stuff in between these things. Just want to click, I press record. Yeah, I did. Right, 8 minutes. All right, so let's say this is a 10-minute gig. So let me just do a couple of little poems and then I'll say goodbye. And maybe these all get cut up. I'm not sure. My brain had a house party and invited every regret I've had since 2005. Of course, you stayed the night, blanked me in a red satin romper. Who has the right to look sexy in a red satin romper? Down white wine, can't black out quick enough. Wake up with a taste of sick on every hiccup. It's not the living on the edge, it's being stuck in the centre. The bed the castle, and the mess the moat. Death, inevitable as the sunrise. But I've had clouds on my side with quite a long time. So I'll keep running with karma 1 step behind. Thank you very much. And I think I might leave it there. And I want to say thank you so much for watching this. Genuinely, I usually gig, like twice a week. At least, like 4 times a month, probably, on average. So I've missed performing to an audience. So for you, whoever is watching, I really appreciate you watching. And I hope this was an okay gig. I hope I've entertained you. I hope you feel a little bit of something. Like what I feel makes you feel like you're not alone with what you feel.
Hello, my name's ARJI. I'm currently promoting mutton rolls sold with Outspoken Press. You can go and cop that. I'm going to be sharing with you 1 poem from it. It's called Nominated for a BAME Prize. It's always in capitals, like someone is shouting it, like the bus beeping to let the disabled ramp down. I'm at an awards ceremony. There's BAME waitresses, toilet attendants, caterers, and us, like the lead parts in Coming to America. sari, shalwar, hijab, turban. So many BAME outfits I feel almost un-BAME in my M&S shirt and trousers. I am stuffed for photos with canapes, meat on stick, marvelling at the ceiling. Tomorrow, when I meet my family, I shall tell them I was loved, revered by many. I will say I drank responsibly.
Ladies and gentlemen, those are the names we give to the toilets. My name's Rob Orton. I like a lot of things in this world. I like the sky. Where does the sky start? Does the sky start where the ground stops? What's this bit? I like faces. I like faces so much. I've got one. I've got one on the front of my head. I'd like to introduce you to my face. I was doing a gig in Reading once, and I said that bit about having a face and liking having a face, and there was a guy there, and he turned to his mate and said, "I wish we'd bought more drugs." I liked how he said more. I like water. How's everyone feel about water? Water! What is it good for? Absolutely loads of stuff. What is water? Water is the smell of a pint of orange cordial before you've added the cordial. Similar in taste to the broken pelvis of a melted snowman. The backbone of a snowflake. Water. Arch enemy of the Dyson Airblade. Water. The opposite of pastry. Soup for people who don't like ingredients. Playground for the dolphins. I saw the list of the top 100 things to do before you die for dolphins. Swim with humans wasn't on it. I like sleeping. How does everyone feel about sleeping? Do you enjoy having a break from yourself? I know I do. Bed is the only piece of furniture I go to. I'm going to bed. I've never been to chair. I come from Yorkshire. A lot of people from Yorkshire have a reputation for being a bit tight with money. I never used to think I was tight with money until recently. I was having a dream, and in the dream I was in the pub with all my friends, and when it came to my round, I woke up and I was like, "Ah, yes! Got out of that one." I like talking. I like talking because people can't hear your spelling mistakes or pick you out on your predominantly poor personal punctuation use. I've never used a semicolon incorrectly when talking. I haven't. I could drop one in wherever I like, and you wouldn't even know about it. We go undetected by the grammar police, the punctuation pigs, the comma cops. Have you used a semicolon yet? Not sure, actually. I do know that when you talk, the full stop is more powerful than the question mark. Is it? I was in the supermarket, I heard two guys talking, and one said to the other, "No, she won't eat pork because it's got religion in it." I love hearing people talking. I was on the train once going up from London to York, and there was an old lady on the train behind me, and she said, "Oh, Linda, it was so busy in Madame Tussauds you couldn't move." I love that. Before mobile phones were invented, people didn't apologise for going through tunnels. I got a review for one of my shows once that said Rob Orton adopts the persona of an underprepared best man. I've been learning a lot of things recently. How long have I been on? 3 minutes 28, if you're wondering. I've been learning a lot of things recently. I've been learning that nothing ripens a banana as quickly as a rucksack. I used to be a bit more upbeat than this, you know. I used to think CCTV was a very, very positive Spanish television channel, but it's not. What else have I been learning? I learned that if you accidentally drop a satsuma into a big pot of hummus, it will be the quietest thing you've heard in a very, very long time. There was no impact sound. I've never seen anything look as comfortable as that satsuma resting on that pot of hummus. It's like, oh, right, you're meant to be together, I'll just leave you there.
Hello, my name's Luke Wright. I've got a couple of poems for you. The first one's called Monster. I got a monster in me. Spats and tails and ridiculous jewellery. Fuck yes, my monster can accessorise. And this beautiful bastard is here to sell the night to you, cocking his leg to lube the chat. Watch him dance on the swazonk cans, a double finger gun salute, chest out, arms as wide as Christ. Oi, 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 lads, 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 monster. Diatribing like a columnist, opinions like confetti from an arsehole. Oh, he's atrocious, but he knows this. He called himself out when he chose that shirt and refused to do the buttons up. You can't touch him because he's already touching himself. Monster, monster. And recently my monster's been escaping every night. I can't be asked to latch its cage. I thrill to hear its steel door clank. Yes, this old screw has turned. I thump my chest at 5 o'clock to wake him up. Sun's over the yard, oh monster. Grease your hair and ditch your sponsor. The monster's coming out. The monster's coming out. Oi, 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 lads, lads, lads. The monster's coming out. Delighting in the tang of human skin and swimming in the eyes of strangers. He loves you all. He wants you all. He loves you all. He wants you all. He wants to take you home with him. He wants to take you home. Come the acid morning, he'll be snoring, grinning hard at some old filthy dream inside my chest, while I take tea with you, afraid to ask. This is the point where you all rapturously applause. I'll do one more, just to demonstrate my range. This is a poem for parents. And it's called Prayer. I say that as a man with no faith, but yeah, prayer. In concrete 1980s parks, my mother found a place to watch. I need to keep an eye on you, she'd say, and so she'd sit and swing her keys or turn a real life paperback. As I fell through an inky pool of time to lose myself. Her eye on me, this length of twine around my toe to pull me up for air. But I grew up, as we grow up, and scorned her eye and burned the twine, dived, drugged and drunk in dirty pools of base. I wasn't lost. I had myself, and lungs the size of concert halls. I had it all. A stomach full of life and all these eyes on me, an easy job, a wife. I've finished, miss. A smug glance at the clock. I gazed down at my navel as if it were the world. I had myself. I had myself. So nothing much as it turns out. A twang of id, a shallow scrape of man. It's just, these days I take my own kids to the park like nothing's wrong. I watch them play and I say, I'll keep an eye on you. But there are times I cannot breathe to know they only have my eye on them. This eye that darts around. My brittle twine. Then, when on empty nights I sit and hold my knees to watch them sleep, or see myself reflected in a screened pool, in depths that grow like pygmy weed, and callow words I barely mean, and sense there might be something ugly deep down in my soul, I long to feel an eye on me, a length of twine around my toe again. So can you? Will you keep an eye on me? And should I need it, pull me up for air. So there you go. Complete with mistakes as well. Now you've got to keep it rough. It's a live performance. Rough and ready. Love to all at the pound. Love to you all. Be kind to each other and yourselves. Bye.
Hi there, I'm Liv Talk and I'm a spoken word artist based in Frome in Somerset. And I'd like to share with the Blue Sky and beyond audiences a little poem I wrote a couple of weeks ago for the BBC Make a Difference campaign. And it's based on all the incredible things people have been doing in the region to support each other during lockdown. And it's called, aptly, How to Make a Difference. You get up. You don't even have to get dressed. Just press your hand to your chest, feel your heart and your breath. That's a start. And sometimes your heart will want to be quiet. or sing every night to the stars, transcending the roofs and snugly parked cars, so the double glazing of neighbours feels less like steel bars. You make a difference by clearing the table, sewing medical scrubs, delivering the NHS food in takeaway tubs, zooming your parents, shaving your head, planting carrots and peonies in your raised flower bed. Every seed, every clap, every smile, every time you stand to the side or walk single file. You make a difference by sitting down with your kids and exploring their minds, letting them chalk rainbows outside of the lines, by chatting to neighbours you never spoke to before, and thanking the postman as he hovers 6 foot from your door. By opening the window with the radio on and letting the news of community swirl in the air with the trill of bird song. You make a difference when you roll up your sleeves. Let yourself grieve. Do whatever it takes to help yourself and others to cope. It's a lot about service, but it's a lot more about hope. Thanks everyone, and I really hope that we're all together soon enjoying live performance again. Look after yourselves. I'm Liv Talk. Bye bye.